Hello everyone, today I'm gonna be showing you the difference between the hair update on Blender 2.9 in comparison to Blender 2.83 or 83. Alright, so we have here Blender 2.9 on the right, and then on the left we have 2.83. Okay, so it's just gonna be a simple exercise. Okay, so first of all, let's create a plane. Zoom in here as well. Right, say your particles to hair, reduce it to 3. That is fine. Let's reduce the size to 3 as well. Actually, let's do 2 and see how that looks. Okay, that's better. Same thing here. Particles, hair, 3, 2. Okay, so all right, so then in your particle settings, go to hair shape, open that up, and do the same thing on the other one as well. So as we can see, some differences again in the layout, just a tiny bit. So we have the closed tip on this side, on this side on the 90, and on this side on the 83. So okay, if you want to know the difference between them, you first of all, the best way is to go into cycles. Okay, then whirl, and let's make it almost white. About there. You can barely see the hair. That is alright. And here we have it active as well. Whirl, and let's make it almost white too. Alright, this is good. So we need to add a material. Okay, and let's choose a light blue, and then for this one, let's do about a green, almost a teal. Okay, excellent. Zoom in, and first thing that we can see is that our hair is tapering off to the tip, which is set right here on our hair shape. Let's go to our particles. Same setting for both of them. If we increase the root, it's gonna increase the bottom. All right, and if we increase the root here, we're gonna increase the bottom as well. One thing to notice, let me see. Okay, cool. One thing to notice is that right away is that in Blender 283, it seems that it's touching the surface, and in 290, it doesn't seem like it's touching the surface. It's kind of floating. All right, and I'm gonna point out other things now. So I don't know why this was made, if it was for efficiencies, but you'll see. So we have both samples, and then we're gonna go, let me see, shader. We have it here. I think we can open it right here. If we open the nodes, shader editor. Okay, and then as this one as well. Great. So now So we can see even clearer, since we're using the same color for the hair and the surface, it's kind of a bit hard to see. So let's add a few nodes that are gonna be input, and then go into hair info, then again to add, and go into shader, mix shader, and again add, and go into the hair shader. Awesome. And we're gonna change this one to kind of like a red. All right, and add it to the bottom, add this one to the top, and then this one to a strand, and connect your mix shader to the output. Awesome, that is great. And we're gonna do the same setup here, a bit faster. So and same kind of red. All right. Okay, cool. So this is not gonna be in details, it's just showing the difference, and I might actually go into a bit of details, but anyways, from what we can see right here from the beginning, it seems like it's a definitely like a cylinder, and in Blender 2.90 it seems like it's a plane that is pointing to the camera. So definitely this is more optimized, but I definitely kind of like this kind of tube. And okay, let's point out a few more differences. So if we increase the tip all the way to 10, decrease the, okay, actually keep it the same, because we're gonna, yeah, let me increase this one to 10. Oh, so this is 100. Let's increase the root to 100 and see what happens. And 10. Yeah. So as you can see, we clearly have a pretty much a cylinder that is being closed, and this one is definitely like a plane that is being bent to the camera. That's making the illusion that is rounded when it's smaller. Let's move that down. There we go. This would be really cool to make like kind of trees. I made a scenery the other day, and it was pretty fun. So okay, so another thing that we might do is do the opposite. So let's make this 100, and let's make this 0, and we kind of get like this kind of, I don't know, diamond looking thing, and then 100. All right, here we can see the diamond even better. All right, so let's go to a more reasonable size. So we're gonna say 10 and 10. Let's just make it 20 so you can see better, and then 20. All right, and then 20. All right, and one thing we're gonna do is just turn it, so rotate it on the x-axis about there, and let's rotate this on the x-axis about there. All right, so we're gonna notice right now a few different things. Go into your hair dynamics, turn it on, and let's change this to what was the one that we had? Another double-shoot timeline. Yes. So if we press play, and about there, 55 frames. And then let's change this one to timeline. 55. Wow, exactly. Lucky guess. So let's go back into our shader. By the way, guys, let me know if you like this kind of analysis on type of videos and reviews and whatnot. I think it's pretty cool. You kind of learn a lot from behind the scenes, how are things working. So here's where the illusion kind of gets cut off. So if we go all the way around it, you can see that it kind of similarly makes the same effect as this one, but it's curving a lot more, but it's not curving all the way. We can see it through there. And yeah, so for example, if we were to turn this to 0 and then let's make this 100 again, you can kind of really see our nice cylinder broken down into pieces. And same thing with this one. This one is a lot more optimized, like I said, but I think it's too optimized. But anyways, whatever is faster, nobody's gonna see it up to this size unless you really are playing around with it. What I would really like to see is, just like in Cinema 4D, it's a type of curve where you can change the curve and you can set where it gets thinner and where it gets thicker. That way you can make even flowers or plants and whatever not, just using the hair with no geometry. So anyways, let's just review this a little bit in case you guys have never used the hair info and the hair shader pretty much. So the roughness is just if you decrease it all the way, it's just pretty much the glossiness. So how much of the reflection, we keep that the same, and this one over here. And then transparency, as you can see, we can see bits of the hair here. The transparency is more of a gradual. So as you can see, there is some green coming through, just a tiny bit. If we were to make this white, you can see kind of what I mean. All right, so let's turn that back over here. Yeah, about there. Cool. So back to reflection. The other thing to notice is that this factor is isolating pretty much the strand, but if we connect this one, is you can have a gradient like from the sculpt being a color and then turning into the normal color here. Again, same thing with this one. All right, and then from thickness, this is gonna color based on the thickness. So it's gonna use where it's the thickest part is gonna use this shader, and where it's the thinner part is gonna use the whatever is at the bottom. It could be another hair shader. All right, and yes, you have a full flexibility of, you know, again, making it, you know, metallic and whatnot. As you can see, it's reflecting of each other, so you can make some really cool artwork just with the hair, you know, even with the emission. And yes, the hair itself would emit light, so that's really cool too. Okay, so do we really need, this is a simplified version of this. Do we really need this when we have such a flexibility with this? I'm not sure. If somebody can comment on that below, that would be great. And then random, depending on the two shaders that you pick, is gonna pick a random color for each. So if we were to have more hairs, which I'm not gonna do right now, it's gonna pick various variations between the green and the red, or the blue and the pink or red, whatever. So that is really cool. I definitely kind of like this. It looks very artsy, mechanical. Let me see if we change it to that blue. If we get kind of like a cool effect, and not that much because it's flat. But anyways, going back to strength, and last of all, last thing that did I notice? Let's make it green. Yeah, is that actually if you go into your render and then hair section, and then here render and hair, as you can see from previously in Blender 2.83, we used to have a bit more options, you know. So now we have less options. So I don't know if that is optimized. I know it was for 2.90 was written from scratch, probably so we can work better on Eevee from the beginning. Then again, I don't know. I don't know what settings we have to have a mess around with it to activate it in Eevee. Let me see here. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, and then I guess the hair shader is not working here. So something to note. Cool. Anyways, and here, is it broken here? Let's see. Eevee, hair, strip. Same thing. They're both kind of broken. I don't know what's going on. Change it back to cycles. All right, so I'm here. Last of all, let's change a couple of settings and see what happens. In ribbon, we get the broken pieces like we have them here, like the segments, but they are not rounded anymore, which is again another kind of cool effect. If you have your hair, a lot of hairs, using them as arrows or something. If we had the curve, like I was saying, you would have just this triangle here and probably everything thinner like an arrow, and that would have been cool. So you have like this flat, and when it's in thickness, it's round. So back to ribbon and then line. I don't know what's the difference between the triangle and the line segments curve. So curve is pretty much almost using the same. Yes, yeah, as you can see here how it bends, and we go over here, same bending. So it's using the same technology. So pretty much when it comes to Blender 2.90, they let's make this 4. They just pretty much took some settings away, so I don't know, probably so it could be easier to be used or whatnot. But anyways, if we go back to thickness and then curve, and then we can do triangle, let's see how that looks. Again, even though if it is in thickness, it's doing that. If we go to line segment, we get our previous one, and then curve, we get this one is kind of cool. So we get the curve, and actual, if you look at any size almost, you kind of get this continuously segment. I don't know if it's the quality that needs to be improved or my transparency. No, it's good. All right, anyways, yeah, so that is kind of cool, and you get that with thickness. So it's pretty much everywhere you look, you're not gonna see any shapes that are broken. It's pretty much like this one, but you get the roundness as well, which is cool. Now we also have that on Blender 90, but it's called 3D curve. Here is called thickness for the shape, and then curve segment. And in here they just call it 3D curve. And as you can see, that is pretty cool. I think it's much cleaner. So if we look in the same angle, here is kind of broken, kind of like this transparency, which I don't have that in the settings, so it shouldn't have that transparency. And here we don't, which is pretty cool. Not only that, but we also get this shadow touching next to each other. This is pretty cool. I actually like this. I wish from the beginning it was set to this, because again, you can make kind of some cool arts. Even though we don't have the broken arrow or pieces one, you still kind of can make some unique arts with this, like a light bulb or something close to it. I don't know. Or like an alien planet and the grass looks totally different, instead of using geometry. So awesome. That is pretty cool. And that is it. If we go here and then we change again our bottom to 100 and then our tip to 10, let's see, you know, kind of, yeah, on this side you kind of can see it starts breaking, but other than that, usually you're not gonna see a breakage. Okay, so let's reduce that to 10. All right, and then here let's do 50. All right, so here you can kind of inflate how much that you want. So it's pretty much, it kind of moves the curve. So here, if we make it even thinner, we kind of have this dot the beginning and at the end, but we cannot control the metal segment as much as we want it. It just controls, we have control here at the end, and then this whole segment all together, which again, it would have been cool to see if we had a little bit more control over that. So it can be -1. Awesome. So there you have it, guys. Let me know what you think about these sort of tutorials. If you like comparisons between the new updates that Blender does. I haven't seen nobody go over this sort of settings for the hair update, and we can do this for other segments that they update. Please let me know. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next one. Bye.